right now.
Their focus has been on player sales. We know Marcus Rashford has joined Barcelona on loan with an option to buy for around £26 million. But now United are working on other exits. Jadon Sancho, Anthony, Tyrell Malacia, as well as Alejandro Garnacho. So Aston Villa interested in Alejandro, but we have been saying throughout this window that they are in the market for a striker. They are in the market for a number 9, and that's regardless of what happens with Rasmus Højlund, because there has been a bit of talk about Italian clubs interested in Rasmus Højlund. But whether he stays or goes, I think Manchester United would want to strengthen in that position. We've been told that initial talks have taken place with Aston Villa over Ollie Watkins and are understood to value him in the region of around £60 million. But there is a lot of interest in the England international. As for Garnacho, Aston Villa, we know, are keen on the player. United clearly want to sell Garnacho, but as it stands, Villa cannot meet the demands that Manchester United would put on a transfer fee with regard to Garnacho. We've always said as well that Garnacho's preference is to stay in the Premier League, but he does want to play in the Champions League. Villa, of course, won't be in the Champions League next season, and as yet, Chelsea, even though they are interested in Garnacho and they are in the Champions League, there hasn't been that formal approach to Manchester United as yet. Now, look, we do know that Manchester United are interested in Watkins and Villa interested in Garnacho, but they would be two separate deals rather than a swap deal, even though we do know that one going to Old Trafford and the other one going to Villa Park, they would be helped because the talks would be ongoing. With regard to Šeško, the interesting one here is that the recruitment director at Manchester United is a gentleman called Christopher Vivell, and he's the one driving the interest in Šeško, because when Šeško was 16, Vivell was the sporting director at Red Bull Salzburg, and he brought him in to that club. Hence, there is that long-running interest. But if you look at what United have done so far in this window, I mentioned Cunha and I mentioned Mbeumo. What they do have in common is that they've got Premier League experience. Now, I just wonder whether Manchester United have looked back in the last few transfer windows and thought, when we've gone abroad for the likes of Højlund, Xerxes, Anthony, hasn't worked. We maybe need players who hit the ground running straight away. So hence why they've got these two players in their mid-20s, arguably at their peak of their powers, and who have performed really, really well in this league already.
After a dismal campaign that resulted in a 15th place finish in the Premier League and left the club without European football for the first time since the 2014-15 season, Manchester United will hope and expect for bigger and better things in the upcoming campaign. And while Amorim has already spent up the funds at his disposal on two new signings,